I'm finding more witchcraft involving club people in Jeremy Irons movies. This video will be about the movie High Rise. Notice the enormous, infamous Francisco Goya painting of the Witch's Sabbath, otherwise known as the Great He-Goat, in the background. This is introduced right at the beginning of the movie, so we know the movie is about witchcraft. And here you see the film crew set up all around it. I don't know if these evil club people are just demon-possessed or literal serpent seeds or fallen angels. A commenter said this, which I wanted to share. They said, yes, their seed lives, and pointed out this verse, Psalm 21, 9 through 11. Thou shalt make them as a fiery oven in the time of thine anger. The Lord shall swallow them up in his wrath, and the fire shall devour them. Their fruit shalt thou destroy from the earth, and their seed from among the children of men. For they intended evil against thee. They imagined a mischievous device which they are not able to perform. So now I'm wondering if the bloodliners really are physical serpent seeds, because they rarely default from their own kind and religion. And to me it seems if they were regular people, that default rate would be a lot higher. I assume they also have puppets that are enlisted with demonic assistance. So they built the movie High Rise as a British science fiction dystopian movie, but it's definitely about witchcraft and the demonic. In 2017, it was nominated for the Empire Award for Best British Film. So it's based on the 1975 novel by J.G. Ballard, an English novelist who attended King's College, Cambridge. He also wrote Crash, about car crash fetishes. And Crash was also adapted for a movie and extremely satanic. That movie was directed by David Cronenberg, who is Order of Canada and Order of Ontario, who also directed the movie The Shrouds about necromancy and dead ringers, starring Jeremy Irons, which is also extremely satanic. But High Rise is set in a luxury high-rise tower block in London in 1975, built by esteemed architect named Anthony Royal, played by Jeremy Irons. Royal is referred to throughout the movie as the architect, which is used by the occult to refer to Lucifer. I'm going to play the trailer now.
For all its inconveniences, Lang was satisfied with life in the high-rise, ready to move forward and explore life. How exactly? He had not yet decided.
I'm so sorry.
I'll survive.
I thought you were empty.
I just moved in.
You're an excellent specimen.
Why don't you come up later and have a drink?
You don't know how things work around here, do you?
I'm a fast learner. You built all this.
I put all my energies into this town, but I am the architect of my own accident.
Is that a horse?
Probably.
On the 40th floor.
Your husband appears intent on colonizing the sky. And who can blame him when you look at what's going on at street level?
How's the high life?
Prone to fits of mania, narcissism, and power failure.
We pay the same charges as the top floors. We want our fair share of the power.
Things would be better if we could afford to move to a higher floor.
I think we should be prepared to meet moderate resistance.
The ones who are the real danger are the self-contained types like you.
Perhaps you're right.
What are you doing? What are you doing in there?
Teething problems. Building's still settling.
Doesn't it seem odd that a man can fall from the 39th floor and not one police car turn up? Where's the sirens?
What have you got there?
A kaleidoscope.
What can you see through that thing?
The future.
As in divination. So, he said they intend on colonizing the sky. Does that sound like Babylon? So, the Royale, his drawing was sacred geometry, like Pythagorean, Platonic, Kepler. I think this represents the demonic realm. It looks like what people see on psychedelics to me. So the wealthy residents live on the top floors and the poorer residents live below. Royale lives on the 40th floor, the top floor, in the penthouse. And this is where they have this huge mural of the Witch's Sabbath painted by Francisco Goya in the early 1800s. This one. It's part of the Black Painting series and depicts a coven of witches. That series also included Saturn devouring his son. So Goya is referred to as the last of the old masters. He was Basque and a court painter, meaning he painted royalty, and many of his paintings were concerned with insanity, mental asylums, witches, fantastical creatures, and these are all themes that are carried forward to the characters who live in the high-rise building in this movie, High Rise. Because eventually the people descend into madness, which they describe as chaos, but it's actually demonic activity, sexual activity, murder, violence, drugs, insanity. Throughout this movie, they refer to the building as having a life of its own, and throughout the movie, they show that other buildings are also being built just like this one. So the movie also stars Tom Hiddleston, and he's a doctor who lives in the building. And I'm going to also cover him because he's definitely in the club. His character in this movie is trying to fit in with the elites. So he visits Royale on the penthouse floor. And he comments on this painting saying that he thought it was in a museum. And then Royale's wife says, "You're wrong." And this is her. And so she's dressed like a druid with her cape and hood. And she and her husband, Anthony Royal, always wear druid white in this movie. Notice this yellow ribbon tied around an oak tree. That's druidic as well. They maintain a utopian rooftop garden with a white horse and poppies. The witches love their poppies. They host a costume party, similar to Eyes Wide Shut. So I think it's interesting that the doctor is being indoctrinated into their witchcraft, like the theme of Eyes Wide Shut. And there are Egyptian statues all over this penthouse floor in the movie. One of the shots of the building shows a UFO or fallen angel looking plasma thing appearing in the sky above the building. You see it here. So Tom Hiddleston is definitely in the club. One of the most high-profile actors in British culture, named one of the most influential people of the UK in 2017 and 2015. He was named the British Film Institute's first official founding ambassador. He was educated at the Dragon School, which is a private primary school at Oxford, founded by a committee of Oxford Dons. Alumni include diplomats, politicians, poets, actors, composers, historians, sculptors, philosophers, scholars, and of course, military officers. His mother was a stage manager, father was Scottish, a doctor, managing director of biotechnology company affiliated with Oxford. On his mother's side, he's a great-grandson of Vice Admiral Reginald Surveys and a great-great-grandson of Edmund Vestey, 1st Baronet. His paternal grandfather, Alexander, served in the Royal Artillery. So he studied classics at University of Cambridge. And classics is the study of classical antiquity, ancient Greek and Roman literature in their original language of ancient Greek and Latin. In 2005, he graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art So while he was a student, he started acting for the BBC, and he was cast as Randolph Churchill, the son of Winston Churchill, the Druid, Sir Winston Churchill. He was also in plays such as Shakespeare's Cymbeline. So he's a Shakespearean actor and appeared a lot in the West End, and he's been in a lot of plays. But he's most well known for his portrayal of Loki in the Marvel movies. And I haven't seen them because I can't concentrate when I watch that for some reason. But Loki is a god in Norse mythology, son of a Jotun, which is a type of Nephilim or giant. So Loki is the father of Hel, a wolf, and the world serpent. He's a shapeshifter. Empire magazine ranked Hiddleston's portrayal of Loki as the 19th greatest movie character of all time. Hiddleston provided the voiceover in the ancient Egyptian Book of the Dead in 2011. He appeared in BBC in the series The Hollow Crown, and he portrayed Prince Hal. Jeremy Irons was also in that. He later appeared as King Henry in the movie King Henry V. And he was also in Guillermo del Toro's gothic horror film Crimson Peak. But my favorite was him being cast as the vampire Adam in the vampire movie Only Lovers Left Alive. The screenplay of that movie was written by Jim Jarmusch, who also wrote Dead Man, which is a psychedelic western starring Johnny Depp, venerating William Blake, who's another one of their club favorites. But The Only Lovers Left Alive is about bloodliners, but they're depicted as vampires in this movie. So Thomas Hiddleston's historical counterpart is William Laws, who was a musician for Charles Stuart, Prince of Wales, in real life. And his wife is played by Tilda Swinton, who is Scottish clan Swinton in real life. She's a vampire. Her historical character or counterpart is Mary Shelley, Gothic Arthur of Frankenstein, another of the club favorites associated with the Illuminati. It also cast Sir John Hurt, who is commander of the Order of the British Empire, as a vampire whose historical counterpart is Christopher Marlowe, an Elizabethan playwright from the 1500s, tutor to Arbella Stewart. And he wrote Tamburlaine, which is about a Scythian who woos the daughter of an Egyptian king. So there's your Nephilim history. So Hiddleston played the role of Loki in Thor Ragnarok, and he was also in Avengers. And Avengers Endgame grossed over $2 billion worldwide and ranked as the highest grossing film of all time. He starred in a drama series titled The Essex Serpent, based on a novel by Sarah Perry, and that was set in 1893 about a woman who moves to London, or from London to Essex, because she's intrigued with the idea that Essex is haunted by a mythological sea serpent. The author of that book, Sarah Perry, is Fellowship of the Royal Society. It says that Hiddleston briefly dated Taylor Swift in 2016. And it says he's currently in a relationship with Zaw Ashton, who is also Fellowship of the Royal Society, a British actress and playwright. This is her, but that looks like a man to me. It had a classical performance in the play Salome, like the biblical Salome. Before I pronounced it Salome, but I think it's Salome. The occult is obsessed with Salome because she was responsible for the beheading of John the Baptist. There are paintings of her, plays about her, movies, etc. So the play that this Zawe Ashton was in was written originally by Oscar Wilde, and it's not the biblical account because it's about the attempted seduction of John the Baptist by Salome. So Salome was married to her own uncle, Philip the Tetrarch, Black Philip, son of Herod the Great, who built the city of Caesarea Philippi. Philip did, where Jesus said the gates of hell would not prevail against his church. In the movie The Witch, Black Philip imagery is also fashioned after Goya's Witchcraft, witches' Sabbath paintings. So Philip the Tetrarch appears in the Gospel of Luke, and that sets the historical context for the ministry of John the Baptist and Jesus. But in the biblical account, Salome danced before Herod at his birthday celebration, likely at a young age, which excited Herod enough to offer her anything she requested in return, which is gross because Herod was her uncle and her stepfather. Salome consults her mother, Herodias, about what she should ask for, and Herodias tells her to ask for the head of John the Baptist. And then Herod had him beheaded. Salome's mother, Herodias, became known as a witch that men in the Middle Ages would join at night to fly through the sky, which sounds like she was appearing to them as a demon. So what does that mean? Thanks for listening.